Yo, what's up guys, Ghost here. So today I wanted to share a few tips on flying in Squadrons and share with you my absolute favourite interceptor build for dogfighting. This works great in both dogfight matches as well as fleet battles, and especially when you're on the defense. And the amount of power this build has just blasts through anything in your way in a single strafe. And it works great for both factions as well. I would say the Republic have, maybe a slight advantage with the loadout, but I'll go over all of that in a second. So the main focus of this build are the rapid fire cannons. These things absolutely shred anything you can get your sights on, but the main drawback of them is that they only have a range of 600 meters, so you do have to get in close and you have to aim really well. Now whilst you're busy getting up close on the enemy, you're really going to be open to enemies sneaking up on you from behind or from the sides and getting a lock on. And since interceptors generally have a very small health pool, if you get hit by just about anything including lock-ons, you're pretty much toast. So for that reason, much of this build revolves around protecting you from lock-ons. So as one of my auxiliaries, I like to take the sensor jammer. Now what this essentially does is it makes you untargetable. So that also means that if somebody is trying to get a lock on you and you hit your sensor jammer, they'll use you as a target and you will be untargetable for 5 seconds. And what I like to do is couple this with the Dampener hull upgrade, which increases the time it takes for somebody to lock on you by 100% at the expense of 10% hull armor. Now I know what you're thinking, yep, you already have a very little armor in an interceptor, can you really afford to lose another 10%? So to me, this trade-off is more than worth it. You're going to be way faster than everybody else out there, so if you play smart and react quickly, as soon as somebody gets on your tail, nobody will be able to do much damage to you anyway. Now if you're playing as the Republic, you'll also have access to a shield upgrade called Scrambler Shield, which further increases hostile lock-on time by 200%, but also slows your shield's regen delay by 200% as well. So that's a bit of a take it or leave it. Personally, I like to take this one as well, which pretty much results in me never ever being hit by a lock-on, but like I say, if you're worried about survivability, then feel free to skip that one. This build will do just fine without it. As for the other auxiliary, I like to take the repair kit, just so if I do take a little bit of stray laser cannon fire, I can repair that up without having to go out of my way for a pickup. You honestly won't miss the lock-on weapons here because the laser cannons are just so much faster and more efficient at taking somebody down, and as a general rule of thumb, the harder the weapons are to use in this game, the more powerful they are as well. Now for countermeasures, I like to run with the sensor inverter, so if my sensor jammer is on cooldown and somebody does manage a lock, I still have my countermeasures to use. This is pretty much just personal preference, you can use any countermeasure you like, but I found this one to be particularly reliable. It does have a slightly longer cooldown than the default one, but I hardly ever have to use it anyway, plus it has the added bonus of redirecting the missile back at the person who launched it, which, I think is pretty funny. Okay, so now that you know the build, let me go over a few tips to help you use it effectively. So firstly, for your power management, the vast majority of the time, you'll see me flying around with most of my power put into the red, and the reason for this is that once you close the gap on the enemy and you get into that all-important 600 meter range where your cannons are effective, you can just let them have it. I mean, these cannons will melt through almost anything in a single strafe, even a bomber with a massive shield and health pool. If you don't have full power available for your cannons when you go into the strafe, they'll end up on cooldown and you'll have to re-engage again, or somebody will get on your tail, or they'll speed away from you and get out of range of your cannons, and it's just a pain in the backside. You really want to destroy them quickly and then move on to the next target. There are times I will switch my power to the engines though, for example if I'm dogfighting another interceptor and I just can't catch him, or maybe even I'm say 5,000 meters away from my target, right, and I want to get there as quickly as possible. In those situations, I'll go ahead and, put all of my power into the blue, into the engines for a bit. But just make sure that you switch back to the red, back to your weapons, before you go in for your strafe. As far as throttle is concerned, again, you'll see me with that about halfway for the maximum turn radius, unless, again, I need to catch up to a target. Now, a couple of things to watch out for. First of all, whilst this build is pretty powerful, you are also very vulnerable yourself. Perhaps not so much from lock-ons, but definitely if you're tailing a slow ship and somebody in turn gets on your tail, you really won't last very long at all. So if you notice that somebody's on you, just abandon your target and go after them. I know it's tempting to stay on the target and try and get the kill, but just believe me, it ain't worth dying for. I know that on PC you can hit G on the keyboard and that will actually target your attacker for you. So you can then start turning and dogfighting them. And I assume there's a button for it on console as well. Another thing you need to watch out for are head-ons. Like, say when you've just spawned into a match, if the guy you're going head-on with has cannons that are effective from 1000 meters, he's probably going to shred through you before you even get within range. So only go for a head-on with a target if you're sure they aren't going for you too. Now obviously here you can see I just, kind of go for it with these guys and it works out pretty well, but I have definitely had head-ons that I've lost before, so just be careful with that. So there you go, that's my favourite build at the moment, at least in dogfights. It seems to be, absolutely shredding the competition. So I thought I'd just share this with you guys if you're having trouble doing well in dogfighting, leveling up and all that sort of thing. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave me a like down below if this has helped you out, and feel free to comment with your own builds as well and let me know, what kind of class of ship you like to play and what sort of loadout you're running, because I'm interested to hear what everybody else is using in the game. So thank you for watching guys, and I'll see you all in the next one.